From the Keith Micheal Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, the Simpson prophecies. What's going on? And now your host, JC3.
Hi everybody, I'm JC3, and do you want to ignite your Valentine's Day this year? Well, do so with adamandeve.com. How are you planning to spice things up in the bedroom? Check this out. When you go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item, you'll get that one item at 50% off. But that's not all. When you select your one item, you'll also get a free Valentine's Day Lovers Kit. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift we know both of you will love. The Lovers Kit also includes 6 free movies. 6 free movies! Plus free shipping. So head on over to adamandeve.com and use the offer code QUESTION. That's QUESTION. Without it, there'll be no free Valentine's Day stuff. Now remember, that's QUESTION. QUESTION for 50% off, 6 free movies, a Lovers Kit, and free shipping. That's QUESTION at adamandeve.com. From all of us at Is This Real and Green Hour Media, enjoy your Valentine's Day. Welcome everybody to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real? Is this real? Did he do the introduction?
He did do the introduction, yes. You weren't paying attention, Mr. West. You were playing your video game, my friend.
No, I was saving.
In the booth, we have Big Joe. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
We have Mr. West. Mr. West is in the building.
Konnichiwa.
We have Pope Tony.
I'm in the Pope.
I'm JC3, as Big Joe said, and we also have a special guest actor and graphic designer, Michael Daw. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Tonight we are talking about the Simpsons predictions.
For anything, did you get your last name correct? Did you say it correct?
Yeah,
You did it.
Yeah, we
Good
said
job.
it correct. Yeah, awesome.
Nice.
We're going to talk about the Simpsons.
You don't want to fuck that up.
No, we don't. We're talking about the Simpsons prophecies. So first, let me go around and Dad, have you ever heard about the Simpsons prophecies?
I have not. However, the last couple of weeks studying up for this stuff, it's been really intriguing. Learning about the Simpsons prophecies, yes.
He'll leave it there because he wants to get more into it. All right, Mr. West, how about you?
I've heard some here and there, but I never really dove into it, so
All right.
yeah.
Pope?
Happy to be here.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard of it. I've done some little research into it. It's goofy and it's fun, but I think there's many reasons why the Simpsons were right on the money with certain things, but we'll talk about that.
All right. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, big Simpsons fan. I've watched it. I haven't watched recent seasons for reasons, but I've always loved that show, and yeah, I've followed some of their prophecies.
All right. So let's get into it. So since I haven't watched The Simpsons, I'm not really a big adult cartoon fan.
Like, you don't like Family Guy?
I haven't watched Family Guy since maybe like season 8.
Either South Park either?
No. Oh God, I can't stand South Park.
What?
That's just me. Like that's just how I am. So I know Dad doesn't watch Simpsons. So what was the first prediction? And I'll start with you, Mike, because you're the one who probably has watched more episodes of The Simpsons than we have. What was the first prediction that you sat there and went like, okay, is this something that is real? Did they really do this?
I honestly can't think of any off the top of my head, because the first prediction stuff that I heard of was kind of the bullshit ones. So it was like the Trump one where he's at the rally and he kisses the baby, and it's shot for shot the same thing. It was one of those videos where they were like, look at the Simpsons predicting this, and it was them taking an episode of The Simpsons that aired after that and claiming that it was from an episode in the early 2000s.
That's right.
And using it as evidence that The Simpsons knew It was one of those like, oh shit, that can't be right, and of course you look it up and it's not right.
Yeah, I
So
think
that kind of sent me down the rabbit hole.
yeah, the one where it's like Trump is on the staircase and Hoover's standing right behind him.
Mhm.
I'm like, there's no
Yep.
way that came beforehand. But to their credit, they alluded to a Trump presidency back in the year 2000
Yes.
as a joke
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Donald Trump was a icon back then too, through because everyone knew who Trump was. So they made
Trump
a joke
has been
about it.
claiming he was going to run for office. Yeah, Trump has been saying he's going to run for office since like the very early 2000s. Like I think partially as a joke, and then eventually like, oh, this guy's serious. So I think it was a play on that, you know.
You know what's
But
funny?
yeah, you're right. There was a.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, what I find funny about the Trump episode was, like you see, you're right. This has been going on forever. I remember Oprah Winfrey interviewing Donald Trump. What you would do as president back in like the late '80s.
That's right.
So this is no surprise. It's just them grabbing some, people's fears or whatever, if you want to call it that, and then just running with it. That's how I look at it. I don't think they predicted it. I just think that they knew that this was on a lot of people's minds, whether to or fro, for or against. But that's what I think about that.
Oh yeah, I mean The Simpsons. I mean
It's
when the more technology advances, the easier it is to like create something so you can get things out faster. And when you have something like Trump announces his presidency back in 2000 and whatever, the Simpsons like, we got to jump on it. We got to say something like, let's throw Homer and Donald together and see the shenanigans, and we'll make something fun because they can put the show out that quickly because the technology's gotten that way. But not 24 years ago. But again, it was a joke then because Donald Trump existed then.
See, I'm more in the.
another thing that I'll.
Go on. Sorry.
You go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say.
I was just gonna say.
We're going back.
Sorry,
All right,
I'm, like,
Mike
taking
first
over
and then Joey.
the
Yeah,
podcast.
Mike, go.
All right. Sorry, I am in a sketch group, and I'm a writer. We are writing sketches constantly, and I can't tell you how hard it is getting to write comedy because it's very hard to beat anything that already exists.
Absolutely.
So I think like what we're witnessing is our world becoming just so fucking batshit that we can't keep up with it. Like I wrote a sketch about a restaurant that was meant to like serve only jail food, and it was like this whole bit, the sketch, and then somebody sent me a link to a restaurant that serves prison food only, and I'm like, you can't keep up with it. Real life is so wild now that like you can't write anything that's funnier.
I got a funny little story for you. About 10 years ago, I sat down and I wrote 5 shorts. Maybe they're 10 pages each. And I said to Joe, like, we're going to film this. And I got this idea. Like, it's going to be like The Office meets all of the emotions, and it takes place in this guy's head. And I'll play all the characters wearing different shirts. And we had just filmed, like, we
The
had
first
used...
episode.
We
yeah.
filmed the first episode and some B stuff, and like we had to use I was working in an office building at the time. I was like, all right, it's shut down. My boss isn't here. Let's just do it now. He gets it all edited and he sends me a text like, by the way, Disney just announced a movie called Inside Out about emotions, and I looked at him like, cancel the whole fucking thing. I don't want to do this now. Like we stopped like immediately. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, that's unfortunately that's what's happening. I for me, it goes from like there's a lot of different other predictions in which they sit there and go on. Like this one I have in front of me, like they apparently predicted Super Bowls back to back in each year, but apparently what they're saying is that they do episodes about the Super Bowl anyway, and then just fill in the teams in which are playing in that year's Super Bowl. So it's like
Yeah.
They have it already
they
queued up.
have it ready queued up and then put it out after the Super Bowl, you know?
It's easy to do that when it's like, okay, how many teams are left? Let's okay, there's 8.
Yeah.
Do it generic enough, and then
Do one for each.
exactly.
Yeah, it's so simple.
South Park did that with an election. They filmed both, and then it was like the night of the election it aired, and they literally threw that scene in right after it was announced.
Yeah, and see that's the thing. Like you were saying, Ian, that's the thing about technology is that they could sit there and do that now. It's that it does not take as long as it did to record animation anymore.
No, it doesn't at all.
because of all the technology which we have now. Trust me, I've tried to record animation. We did. Me and Wes, we went to high school for video production,
Yes.
and at the time, our high school, our class was getting the foremost, like, up-to-date technology that was being offered to high schools at the time. And the one thing they turn around and said is, like, here's the newest, like, animation. I think it was Adobe Animate. I think it just came out. And they're like, yeah, use this and come up with an animation. I tried. I'm like, I'm not smart enough for this. I'm not smart enough for this. So we had one student who did, and he took, which I'll shout him out, Javid. He took a fork, a spork actually, and took the two middle pieces of fork out and just put like a little cape on it, like a napkin, and he did a bat fork animation. You know, he did something like that. So, and it took a lot of gigabytes. Like it was so heavy in gigabyte that it was very, very, like, but that's what they can do now. It's so quick that they can just get it done within a week or two. You know?
Well, it does depend on the show and the style of animation. The Simpsons takes a bit longer because it's still hand drawn, so it's storyboarded here in the States, and then it's sent usually overseas to be animated. It might be done here. Bob's Burgers is done by Bento Box, which is in the U.S. So the Simpsons might actually be animated here as well. But like South Park, their episodes literally take a week to make. They write and have it completely animated and voice acted within a week. There's a really cool documentary they put out about it that's fun to watch. But yeah, traditional hand-drawn animation still is a bit of a process. If you've watched the Invincible show, then you know what it's like to wait 3 years for a new season.
I can't
So
wait
it can still take a while. But South Park, CGI, it's all computers. All that stuff is like the assets are already built and ready to go. It's crazy how fast they can pump that out.
Another one I have here is this one. I don't think it's a prediction as much as it is like, I'll just say Disney buys 20th Century Fox, season 10, episode 5.
Yes.
Where they put the little the division of Walt Disney under this 20th Century Fox title card.
Yep.
Would you consider that a prediction?
No.
Or would you consider that something that they're just toying around with because Disney was buying things up anyway?
For me, I'll say that it's probably a fact that there were Simpsons were owned by Fox. So it's like you're poking fun at your boss. You have Disney, who was buying stuff, and the writers for The Simpsons, and then subsequently Futurama, they get into a wonderful habit of like blink and you miss it jokes, where it's just like, you know, words on the side of a building, or it's the name of a store, and if you're not paying attention, you're not seeing the joke. But I think it's just one of those things where they were just having fun, and there's only so many billion-dollar corporations in this industry. Why not say Disney owns it? Disney owns everything else. It's a joke.
Yeah, plus, you got to understand too. This is Hollywood. There's a lot of rumors that go around constantly, and some of them take years to take shape. You know, they know how much Disney wants to dominate everything, and you know it's easy to say something like that when you know that if Disney gets a chance, they're going to do it, and they're not done yet either. There's more out there they're gonna harvest. And, you know, that's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. Wes, do you have anything to put on that?
No, I don't.
No,
I
just
don't really
take it in. All right. Go on, Mike.
If I could say real quick, Disney will one day buy Sony, so then we can come back and you can say that I predicted it. I just think that's
Put it on that.
I think they just made. I think most of these they just made a joke, and when you have 700 something episodes of something, you've kind of made every joke you could possibly make. It's all tied to references to companies and stuff that's in like pop culture zeitgeist, you know? Yeah, exactly.
No,
Look at all the stuff they didn't predict.
I agree. I 100% agree with that, and that's one of my points throughout all this is Simpsons. Like, I look at this Simpson stuff with like I'll be honest. I'm very skeptical with all this Simpsons stuff. But we're gonna take a short little break, real quick, and then we're gonna be back with Mike and talk a little bit more about the Simpsons predictions. So go listen to some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, we're just letting you know that we have new merch in our store. Go to greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio for our first ever logo drop. The Cryptid collection is here. Get your favorite cryptids such as Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, the Yeti, or the Jersey Devil on t-shirts, hats, or mugs. You can also get all of our podcast logos on various items as well. Remember, that's greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio. New episodes of Is This Real drop Sundays at 8. Question everything.
Hi everybody, I'm JC3, and do you want to ignite your Valentine's Day this year? Well, do so with adamandeve.com. How are you planning to spice things up in the bedroom? Check this out. When you go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item, you'll get that one item at 50% off. But that's not all. When you select your one item, you'll also get a free Valentine's Day Lovers Kit. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift we know both of you will love. The Lovers Kit also includes 6 free movies. 6 free movies! Plus free shipping. So head on over to adamandeve.com and use the offer code QUESTION. That's QUESTION. Without it, there'll be no free Valentine's Day stuff. Now remember, that's question. QUESTION for 50% off, 6 free movies, a lover's kit, and free shipping. That's question at adamandeve.com. From all of us at Is This Real and Green Hour Media, enjoy your Valentine's Day. Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented Neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories, no sugars, no fillers, and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to dubby.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's dubby.gg and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Passion Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby
and be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hello, this is JC3 speaking. If you want to know more about Is This Real podcast and our parent company Green Hour Media, then visit greenhourmedia.org. You can find and follow all of our social media pages through our website. If you love our content, then you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Patreon page. Remember, that is greenhourmedia.org. We are back. Thank you for joining us back. We're still here with our guest, Michael Daw, as we continue talking about the Simpsons predictions and whether we believe it or not. Now, like I said, I'm very skeptical. I said that before. The one that I think was interesting to me, in season 17, it's the underwater submersible emergency situation, in which apparently they predicted, not in so many words, but they predicted the submersible...
The Titan disaster?
The Titan disaster last year. Well, that was last year, right? That was last year?
That was last year.
So I'll just read this real quick. So in this episode, Homer believes a man named Mason Fairbanks to be his long-lost biological father. The two embark on an underwater adventure in individual submersibles to try and find the treasure in a sunken ship named Piso Mojado. But Homer gets stuck in a coral, and his oxygen levels keep dipping. He loses consciousness and wakes up 3 days later in a hospital. In June 2023, many fans noted the parallels with the real-life disappearance of an Ocean Gate submersible that was carrying 5 passengers who were in an adventure to see the ruins of the Titanic at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The company lost contact with the submersible, which set out early June 19th with 96 hours of oxygen and still had not been located on June 22nd. Now, as we all know, they did eventually locate the remains of that submersible, but would you consider this a prediction or just an episode again that's just it's an episode that happened?
It's too tough to say that was a prediction because come on, man, like it was you never know. You never know with stuff like that. Like
I just think they play on men's fears. I do. That's what
going to the bottom of the ocean at any given point, something's gonna happen. So if you make an episode about it, it's like what Pop said. You're playing on people's fears about like, oh my God, we shouldn't go to the bottom of the ocean because like shit like this could happen.
But it's also happened before. Like we had an episode a couple seasons ago about the 4 missing subs. Like these type of disasters do happen. Now everyone, the world was encapsulated with this one last year, but like those subs went missing. Some of them went missing in the 40s, some went missing in the 80s. Like, the idea of being in a submersible and something going wrong is a huge fear, and it has happened. This is just another one that has happened, so I can't say it's prediction. If anything, I would say they were inspired by real events and turned those ideas into an episode.
And also, you got to understand, too, at some point, I think it was this Matt Groening. He's the guy who produces this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Creator, yeah.
I think he's smart enough to understand that generally people are fucking stupid. and to me, I mean, I don't want to, God rest their souls. It was a bad thing that happened, but you put yourself in a situation where you're literally getting in this fucking tube with a shoehorn, okay, and then you have a joystick that's a fucking Nintendo joystick, okay, and what the fuck?
What do you think's gonna happen?
Again, he's writing a comedy show. This has got to come to his mind. This will be something fun. Fat fuck getting a goddamn thing, get stuck, and whatever. That to me, he's playing on stupidity of mankind. It really is.
Right. Well, it's also just that's how you write a TV show. What crazy thing is happening? Then what conflict can happen, and how do we heighten that?
Right.
If you're putting them underwater in a submarine, obviously like drowning or passing out or getting eaten by a big fish are all things that they probably spat around in the writer's room and then eventually landed on what happened. But to bring up your point about like the real life thing, when they had like a video game controller actually like controlling the thing, like that's the type of detail. If that was in the Simpsons episode, I'd be like, oh, that's
too
really
specific.
Uncanny,
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there, but it's literally like, oh my God, the Simpsons did an episode where a hurricane hit Florida. It's like that happens every year. Not that they didn't. Do I think that they like made some stories that later came true? Yes. Do I think like Bill Oakley had any idea when he was writing this that like Trump would actually be president or these submarine accident would happen like this? No.
No, I agree with you. It's another one. Technology. Apparently, they're saying the Simpsons predicted smartwatches and autocorrect and all this stuff. I'm like, do you know how many?
Johnny Quest invented smartwatches in the '60s.
I'm about to say,
that's been a concept forever.
I was like, look at all those old cartoons from like the 30s and 40s, like the House of Tomorrow, the Car of Tomorrow. It's like some of them, like they're not perfect, but it's like this car had a TV set in it. Like, well, yeah, all like cars manufactured today had touchscreens. Like, yeah, that's a thing.
One of the biggest shows of the '60s,
Yeah.
Get Smart. The guy was talking to his fucking shoe. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you're in the '60s and he's talking into his shoe. He's got a telephone in his shoe. So, this is
Like,
not exactly all new technology.
You look at stuff like the Jetsons, and like some of those things kind of like You know, like, yeah, I can see that to be like we have robots, like we have real robots now. It's not like Lucy or what was it, Lucy the robot or whoever, Rosie.
No.
It was Rosie the robot on Jetsons.
Okay, yes.
And it's like we don't have that in our homes yet, but we do have like real.
Yeah, I mean, Alexa's
robot.
in our homes.
Yeah, we have Alexa. The next step after Alexa will be Rosie. That's what's happening. But like, you can't say the Jetsons predicted that. It's people who are thinking of the future.
My job as a graphic designer, I literally push a button all day. That was like George Jetson's futuristic job. Was he just like pressed a button at work? And he's like, man, I'm tired from pressing a button all day. That's how I feel at night. Like they didn't predict it.
Yeah, there's some other things that we have on here too. Like the one that Dad loves reading about is the Siegfried and Roy tiger attack.
Oh, fucking A.
Come on. That goes back to being fucking stupid. At some point, you're fucking with a 700-pound animal, okay?
More than that.
And it's not going to like you smacking it in the ass over and over. And someday you're going to get a pissed off animal who didn't get enough food that day and is going to look at you and go, okay, now you're going to be I'm going to be shitting you out in a week.
I just read an article. There was a guy in Africa who found a hippo, baby hippo, when it was like a newborn. He raised it for 4 years. He's like, he's my best buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love him. He's like a member of my family. And then like one day he just like, the hippo just ate him. Like he took him to the river, threw him under the ground, threw him in the water, and just killed him. Like it's an animal. What do you expect?
Look at the nitwit to raise the gorilla from a chimpanzee, and ate it. At
You
one
mean
point,
from a baby. Chimps and gorillas, two different animals.
whatever. And then they from a very small monkey.
Yeah.
And then eventually, it got so pissed off. Now she walks around with a flag over her head because it ate her face.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, that's not. I don't know how many families want to eat my face off.
Wild animals are wild. They're not domesticated. You can't trust them.
Yeah, I got a kick at that. I do a lot of watching TikTok, and I just love to laugh at stupid people. And then one guy's got this giant ocelot or whatever he keeps as his pet, and the thing is literally growling at him. You wouldn't catch me in the same county with this thing. And this guy's going, "Hi, honey. How peculiar. Get the fuck away from me."
It's hissing like that's how she says hello. I'm like, no, that's not how she says hello. No. That's a wild animal that will fuck you up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, again, I want to go on the record here. I'm predicting that ocelot will bite him.
See, the one I also find on TikTok is the
Write that down.
the one lady. We have it recorded, so it's better than writing it down.
Yeah.
The one lady turned around and she found what she thought was a cat on the side of the road.
A
kitten, like baby. It turned out to be a Black Panther.
Well, no, it was a puma.
Yeah. A puma, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's a difference there. Oh, give me a break.
So
she's running around with her dog, and I'm like, a part of me wants to believe that like because she raised it from an infant, there is like a deeper connection. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm a realist. I'm like, that thing on the wrong day is gonna like fuck her up. There's a reason why we don't have those animals. Like, cats don't get bigger than a foot tall because they're dangerous past that. Like, so are dogs, but like you can have a mastiff. They're domesticated to a degree. Not like a puma or a cougar or something like that. They will fuck you up. You can't domesticate them.
Jeez. Again, Duncan is the fuel of America.
Stupidity is the fuel of America.
Stupidity is the fuel of the world. It's just the way it is.
So I have this is a funny one. Apparently, they predicted putting horse meat in food.
No, that's a sheep.
A quick visual in the 5th season shows lunch lady Doris adding horse parts to a typical Springfield elementary lunch. Little did she know how much of a trailblazer she would be, as in 2013, health officials discovered that several beef products contained horse meat.
What do you mean when you say beef products? Like, what kind of products? I mean, canned stew and shit like that?
It doesn't.
Because I'll be honest with you, if you take a can of canned stew, like Dinty Moore, and you open it up, and then you take a can of dog food, and you open it up, you smell exactly the same. So what is in that Dinty Moore? Or what's in that dog food?
29% of horse was found in Tesco burgers. So if you ate Tesco burgers during that time, You ate some horse meat.
Listen, in the United States, there is a safe amount when it comes to like rats or like bugs and like certain, like it has.
Yeah.
It's a small amount, but like legally speaking, it's like, oh, they found a cockroach. It was mashed up and
Fingers.
yeah, something like it
Yeah.
was like very small.
Rat shit.
Yeah, you can.
I was working at Dunkin'. This is a true story. I was working at Dunkin' one time, and I served a blueberry muffin to this dude. And he came by and he looked at me. He opened up. He showed me there was a roach in the fucking thing. So he goes, "I want my money back." I said, "All right, whatever. I'll get my manager." So I went to my manager and I said to my manager, "There's a roach in there. He wants his money back." He goes, "Was the roach alive?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "He doesn't get any money back then." So he went and actually argued with the guy, not me. This is the kind of shit that
Amazing.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Our corporate standard says we should charge you extra for that roach.
Yeah.
I think one of the last ones we'll end on is the NSA spying scandal. So in 2007, The Simpsons leaped to the big screen with its penchant for predictions intact when Marge discussed her plan to out government secrets. We were taken to the headquarters of the National Security Agency. Inside, there was a room full of monitors with a whole staff listening to phone calls in the hopes of catching America's Most Wanted. It was almost as if real NSA were listening in on film. As in 2013, Edward Snowden revealed to the public numerous secret surveillance programs the agency was operating. When did the movie come out?
2014, I want to say. The Simpsons.
Oh, this is
movie
2007.
Because this shit's
Sooner.
been going on
Yeah.
forever.
Sooner, yeah.
And these writers
2007.
know that. Look at the humor that who's the guy that does Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
There's one thing that stuck with me with that, and this is over time. It was a black child was kidnapped. So Stewie turned around and said, "A black child got missing." Oh, I'm sure the media will be all over that. one.
Yeah. Oh no, it was Cleveland. It's like black man got missing. The media will be all. Here's one even better for you. I mean, I think it's all based off rumors, but this was long before the Kevin Spacey thing when his allegations. There was a scene.
Well, they proved he was innocent, by the way.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there was a scene at a party, and like, the joke was like, Stewie was running. He just came out of nowhere, running naked. He's like, "Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement," and he runs off the screen. That's the whole joke, and that was years before anything came to light. But like, this is Hollywood. These are insiders who have their own like language. They have their own rumors and shit that like we as the public don't know about, and writers use that for jokes.
Why do you think Ricky Gervais isn't doing the Golden Globes anymore? The last time he did, he was really like he shut them all up.
Gervais is brutal by nature, but yeah.
Isn't that the English guy that
Yeah,
told
he's cra-
everybody,
he's
told,
cra-
told everybody about
he
the
brought
The
everything
Epstein,
to these
yeah.
people.
He was like, that's your friend, not mine. So that it's yeah. I like I said, I don't think this is, for me at least, and I'll start off by ending this. I don't think this is an actual thing. I think there's so many episodes, like they have to be
Over 700, I think 760.
Yeah, they're
Plus the movie.
there are over 700 episodes, so it's almost 30 years of being on TV.
36, dude.
36.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
almost 40 years. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
The Simpsons is a year older than I am.
So
Wow.
you're gonna sit there and get
old.
you're gonna sit there and either use comedy and not predict, but like be like, look, this is what I think is gonna happen, or not gonna happen, but this would be
Jokes,
funny
you're
if
writing
this would
jokes.
happen. And
Anthony, do you remember what George Carlin said about comedy?
He said many things about comedy.
Well,
Which one?
you can laugh at and you can make a joke about anything.
You can, yes.
It's just a matter of where you put the
about-
exaggeration.
Yes, it's where the context is
and that's
where
exactly
the
what's
exaggeration
going on
is.
here, in my opinion.
West.
I don't think that the Simpsons are always correct in what they predict, unless it's like how our friend said over here that that there's like small little details that are spot on to reality's events.
Yeah.
Then it's really tough to just sit here and say that yes, they can predict everything, but also it's like what Pop said, these guys also have like their own Hollywood language, so they're making jokes about things that Could eventually come to light.
Yeah.
Like what happened to our sheriff?
No, I think it's like I said before. You're right. You have smart writers. You have their own language. You have people making jokes, and life is strange. Like art imitates life, and life imitates art, and you're gonna get shit like this all the time. I don't think it's predictions. I just think it's dumb luck.
All right. How about you, Mike? What do you believe?
Yeah, kind of just what I said before. I think when you're shooting that many shots, a few of them are going to make it in. I think if we were to go back through the 700 whatever episodes of The Simpsons, we could probably find a lot more that fit it. But I think you'd probably find a lot more misses, like a lot of stuff that they made fun of that didn't actually happen in real life.
Yeah, I can imagine like, like 1,000 years from now, is someone gonna be sitting around a booth and talking about how Futurama was right? Set in the year 3000, Cyclops, New York, and all that shit. Like, it's a show that does not take place anywhere now. It's 1,000 years in the future. What's life going to look like then? And are they right? Probably a lot of things are going to be like similar, but I don't think they're going to have automated suicide booths, or like you'll have New York built on old New York.
Hey, we can dream. We can dream. But people are already doing that with Idiocracy. Did y'all see that movie?
Yes, they are.
Which was a Mike Judd movie.
Yep.
Which they did that movie, I think around 2000, early 2000s, and they were like, find us a really stupid shoe to put in this thing that people would wear in the future. And they found this little startup company called Crocs.
That's right.
And they put everyone in the movie in these stupid shoes that were like, these are popular in the future, and they've caught on. So in a way, yeah, they predicted Crocs.
You know, we didn't get a wrestler as president, but we did get wrestlers as governor with Jesse Ventura. We got, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird
Kane.
stuff. Kane as well, yeah. Can't forget about Kane. So yeah, you get close, but no cigar. You know, but it's almost there.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that'll do it for our episode. Thank you, Michael, again. Please, can you just let everybody know where you find you for any of your social medias or anything like that, for like maybe your YouTube page?
Yeah, you could find me at Daw Does Stuff on TikTok. You could find my sketch group, Kitty Get a Job, on Instagram or YouTube, and you can find my website with all my design work up at jackdawdesignco.com.
All right, we'll put that up in the video credits also. So I just want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michael, for joining us for the interview in which we interviewed Michael about his opinion about the cornucopia and the Mandela effect, which went beautifully. And thank you for joining us for our Simpsons episode, Mike. I wish and hope that you join us for future episodes whenever you want to. You're welcome to come on because you're fantastic to talk to, man.
Appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone say goodnight.
Good night, Mike. Take care.
Adios.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Remember, everybody, question everything. Good night. Hey everybody, it's JC3, and I just want to say thank you for listening to all of our shows. If you want to keep up to date with everything Is This Real or Green Hour Media, go to our social media accounts. At Is This Real PC for TikTok, at Green Hour Media for YouTube, Is This Real Podcast for Facebook, and at Is This Real Podcast, all one word, for Instagram. You will be able to keep up with everything Is This Real or Green Hour Media.